Hey everybody, welcome back. We are Buddy Spirits and Cigars, and this is part 2 with Mr. Casey Ross from
Hello.
the Oak Distillery. Welcome back, man.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for having me back.
This is, I'm ecstatic. I'm sorry. I'm like a little kid in a candy store. I mean, this
You're all
is,
fanboying out of.
yeah, I am. I mean, we're trying this cast strength that you have. This is great juice.
Thank you.
I mean, there's tons of flavor there. This offers a lot. And, you and I have talked previous when you were in last time. I'm a fan of cast strength, barrel strength, stuff that's not really proofed way down, because it kind of lets us know what your offering is as a distiller to us as a consumer.
Right.
And it really lets us taste the flavors that you intended for this particular spirit. And it's not watered down for mass production. It's left for us to enjoy as it is, which we can proof down if we wanted to.
Right.
You could add some water or a sphere or something like that.
You got it.
Yeah, exactly. So how did this particular spirit come to be?
Yeah, we had another cast strength bourbon called the Majors, and that one my father-in-law passed away from Lou Gehrig's disease. So on the label, it's kind of a major emblem. He retired a major in the Army. He was a Army Ranger, just an incredible man. But it was him standing on his tank in Vietnam.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so we released that one from time to time. But this one was kind of special because our city of Colorado Springs, asked us to do their celebration bourbon for their 150th anniversary. So we had this sesquicentennial Big O Bash, and the mayor of Colorado Springs, he came down and got his hands dirty a little bit with the cook and everything. And so we released 2,000 bottles for the city, and then it just became so popular that we kept it on. And on the label, you'll see that there's 3 guys. General Palmer's in the center. He was the founder of Colorado Springs. 2 of his surveyors, and it's called the First Stake Cast Strength Bourbon because that's where they drove in the first stake into the ground when they were surveying the land. So that's right downtown Colorado Springs, and it's only been out for about a year and a half now. Been very, very popular, and it's always ranges. I think our lowest has been 108 proof. Our highest has probably been 128, 129 proof. I love giving it to people and just having them guess the proof, because they're always like, it's 100, 105 proof or something like that. It's always usually sips super smooth. And it has just been destroying competitions. This year alone, I think it has 8 medals on it, but all the big ones, Fred Minnick's Ascot Awards, it took double platinum in that. It took gold in the Denver International, the San Francisco, the New York, all the big international spirit competitions. So it's doing really well for us. It's delicious. It has a beautiful nose. And that's our flagship cast strength right now.
Well, I agree with you. The nose is phenomenal, and it doesn't disappoint whenever you taste it on the palate as well. I think it's awesome that you guys were able to do that for your city. And
Yeah.
you have a piece of history on the label itself. I mean, that's just phenomenal. That in itself is cool for when it's time, when you sit around and talk to people and you can tell that story. I mean, I didn't know that prior to you coming here, as far as that information about Colorado Springs. And I've been to Colorado Springs a few times, but I just didn't know how it came to be and stuff like that. I think that's phenomenal history.
Yeah, thanks.
That's awesome on you guys, and especially your father-in-law passing away and you guys paying tribute to him. Being a veteran, I mean, that means a lot to me. It's personal. Anytime we have somebody that recognizes military, I mean, that's awesome of you guys.
Sure.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
That's great. I'm a fan. It's got a lot of flavor, and you guys are. I see why it's won medals. I mean, you got 8 awards from this thing. I mean, and then double platinum with red Minnick. I mean, that's phenomenal. I mean, that's just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, and they're just, cask strengths are fun because you can put them wherever you want. If you're not a high proof, you can tone it down, but you don't have to go and buy a low proof bottle. You can go and have that bottle stretch its legs a little bit and enjoy it a little bit more.
So what I want to know is how you build that is.
Yeah, so it's online. It's in several states. It's actually not currently here in Arkansas. So hopefully, beginning of this coming year, we'll get it kicked out right here in Arkansas. Currently, we have our bourbon, our rye, and our gin, citrus gin. So yeah, we have a barrel aged gin now. We have a vodka. We have a lot of barrel aged special finishes that we do that we release every month or every other month. So lots coming here in the next year.
How do you guys do your releases? So, if you come out with some special release, do you have a cap on a certain amount of bottles? And how do you do your release to the consumers?
Yeah, so with these special releases, there's very few. So we yield anywhere from 160, depending on age, of course, 160 to 220 bottles. And then we'll just kick it out. We try to spread them out quite a bit into every state that we're in.
Okay. So, I mean, do they come to, I guess, wherever the retailer is in that state to get those, or do you have to order them? Or?
Yeah, no. So back home, we do a certain amount will be kicked out at our tasting room, and then the rest will go out for retail sales. But yeah, usually just in the liquor store.
I'm ready for you to get this in Arkansas.
I know.
This stuff it's legit.
Yeah.
I can't wait for everybody to be able to try this. I mean, this is it's an exclusive. We're the first ones to get to try it, unless you've been able to get it out of another place, another state. But man, you guys knocked it out of the park. I said, I see why you guys won several awards. This is really, really good juice.
Well, and it's one of those things where that's the beautiful part about this Fort Smith move is we're going to be able to make more juice. We made all of our own product for the first 4.5 years. We were very strict on that. We didn't get into the game to source or blend or anything like that. We wanted to make all of our own juice. At year 4.5, we had tripled production, quadrupled sales, started depleting all of our barrels. And so all of those big bulk distilleries that we always cuss their names, but they became some of our best friends. And we were able to keep our doors open, stay in business, feed our families. But this Fort Smith move will allow us to make more juice, and that's what we want to get back to.
So let's go back in time for just a second, and I remembered something. You can explain some detail on this.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are did you say there's 16 distilleries in Colorado Springs?
Yeah, there's 13, 14, 15, 16.
Yeah, somewhere in the mid-teens or so.
Yep.
And you said that you guys are the second oldest. 291 has been established a little bit longer. I think 2011, something
Correct.
like that.
Yep. Michael Myers.
And so when you guys were getting started and you were like, all right, we're to the point where we're ready for barrels.
Yeah.
How did that work out for you?
Yeah, that was a very scary moment because we're like, oh man, we're gonna start with our bourbon, and this is gonna be great. And then I was on the waiting list for the 4 biggest cooperages across the nation for over a year to get a barrel. And so I was like, we're not going to be able to call it a bourbon. We're going to have, we'll call it a whiskey. I'm a woodworker, metal worker, so I was ripping oak planks in my backyard, and I was charring them myself. And I had these 55-gallon food grade drums that we were dunking it in, and we were getting some really good product. But I was like, man, we need some barrels. And so I hit up Michael Myers, and he actually sold us our first 7 barrels. He sold us an ISC 53-gallon. He sold us just 3 25-gallon barrels and 3 15-gallon barrels. And we aged for 3 months in those 7 barrels, and we did our first release.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was super cool. He, Michael's a great guy. He makes some great juice. We've got a good relationship. He's got a great team. Max Ferguson, one of his sales leads. We went to junior high and high school together. So just a lot of great people in this industry.
And that just goes to show you the open arms and the love in this industry. I mean, let's technically speaking, your competition for them from a business perspective.
Sure.
But you know what? They were willing to, we're going to help you guys out.
Yeah.
We'll sell you X amount of barrels, 7 barrels, to help you guys get started and established. And, that just tells you about this community.
Yeah.
How amazing people are in this community, that even though your competition, we're going to help you out and help you get established and be able to start your production. Because, waiting a year as you did, I mean, that halts everything until you can have something to age it in and do your storage and things like you guys decided to do. I mean, that's a big thing in this industry, so for them to be willing to do that, I mean, that's awesome and shows just how amazing this community is.
Oh yeah. And you would think that there would be a lot of, nasty competition and people not wanting to share information, for sure. Before we even started, I went up and toured Woods High Mountain Distillery in Salida and met with PT. He's the owner there. And I toured. After the tour, I started blowing him up with questions. He was like, "You're starting a distillery." I was like, "Yep." And he was just so great. He's become a friend. And, Lenny with Deerhammer, and gosh, there's great distilleries all over the place. And we're so lucky. We're so fortunate that there's all of these incredible distillers all over the nation. And I haven't run into one distillery that's snubbed me or hasn't wanted to share information or anything like that. They've always just been helpful.
I'm glad it's not a cutthroat thing,
No.
I mean, because it very well could be.
Could be.
When it comes down to business, it's mine versus yours, and I'm glad it's not that way.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is kind of like, we're in this together. It's a big family, and we really want everybody to succeed. Because you can't just have one brown spirit or one spirit that somebody just goes to all the time. I mean, there's just so many different flavor profiles out there, and the fact that you're willing to help somebody else out, I mean, that just speaks volumes for this particular community. And it's not somebody that's trying to pull the rug out from under you.
Yeah. People think it's like that, really crazy cutthroat. At one point, our tasting room is located in Ivy Wild School, old school building that's been converted into like a brewery and our whiskey bar and a wine bar upstairs. And 291 used to be directly across the street, their distillery. They've since moved and ramped up. They have a nice new facility. But I went over to 291 for a little drink, and Michael walked in. And that night there was a little bar downtown called Shame and Regret. They opened up. And,
what a name!
Oh yeah, fantastic spot. And I was like, he asked me what I was doing, and I was like, I'm gonna go to Shame and Regret. He's like, I'm going to Shame and Regret. So we rode in the 291 truck, and we walked in at the same time, and everyone was like, what the heck is Casey doing with Michael? What's going on? But it was great. We had an awesome night.
Yeah. That's just the way it should be. You get into some other parts of business in the corporate world, I mean, it really becomes very competitive and cutthroat.
For sure.
I think the competition within this particular realm of business, you do that, you let the consumer decide.
Yeah.
It's not my distillery versus your distillery, and you let the juice do the talking.
You got it.
The customers, decide, yeah, I like that one, and this one's going to win this award, and that one's going to win that award. And, you know, that's where it should be left.
Agree.
And we leave it at the table and congratulate the winners. And you know, you guys just made amazing relationships along, you know, for the past 9 years.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just I'm grateful you guys are coming here and spreading that good positive energy down in Arkansas.
Heck yeah.
So thank you again for coming and being on the show. Man, we're just excited. I mean, I can't. I'm probably more excited than you are. You know, I love this community, and it's because of things like that makes me enjoy this community that much more. You know, and makes me want to dive deeper into building all these relationships and stuff, because there's some great people out there.
There are. Yeah.
And they prove it time and time again. So. Thank you again for joining us.
Yeah,
We appreciate it,
guys.
You know, you guys smash that like button, subscribe, comment below, and
Keep
we
your eyes
will,
peeled for Axe in the Oak.
yeah, we're going to continue to do more content with Axe in the Oak. We plan on doing lots of stuff at the distillery. We've got a lot of great plans in store, so definitely stay tuned in. We're going to be doing a lot more. We're going to get his other
Eric, Jason.
Yeah, we're going to get those guys on board. So we got a lot more stuff coming. So be sure you stay subscribed, put those notifications on, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Cheers.